25 has been an even bigger roller coaster in the life of the British royals and those fake dodgy royals over in Montecito. P. Diner, royal YouTube sensation, joins me this New Year's Eve for the ultimate countdown of the most shocking royal moments of 2025. And P. Diner, just before we get to your list, I mean, there was actually so much to choose from this year. Any suggestion that things were going to quieten down soon went out the window, right? Covering the royal family has certainly been a full-time job this year.
Absolutely. It's been I don't know, a mountain of stories just to pick from. I couldn't get it all in. It was really difficult, but we had a few that really stood out, right? So it's just never a dull moment.
There was never a dull moment indeed. So let's get the countdown kicking off at number 5 with Prince Harry's UK return plot. And P. Diner, this was so shocking to me because it really illustrated in such a public manner how the marriage is crumbling. No matter what they try to say publicly, no matter how much they try to spin it in their favored publications like Us Weekly and People magazine, the fact that so much of his attention remains on the United Kingdom, the security, the secret meeting with the King's team, the constant court cases, his head is not with his family, his head is not with Meghan, his head is not with Montecito. But talk to me about why this made your list.
Because it was finally a confirmation of Harry wanting to do what we all thought he was eventually going to want to do. We knew this day was coming. We knew that he was going to want to leave and to have his life back. We knew that that freedom flight was nothing but a fraud of a flight that he was taking. And so now Harry has confirmed that, hey, I want to go back, and he can spin it like just for a little bit. He wants to go back. We know he longs to have his life back because he sees the direction that Meghan is taking his California life into. He wants nothing to do with it, but he is trying to get back what he has always, I think, longed for. And this was the first sign that he has broken from his life in California to try to get back his UK life. Absolutely.
And P. Diner, do you think that part of his desire to spend so much more time in the United Kingdom and set up this royal court to rival Prince William is so that he doesn't have to be with his wife in Montecito full time? He can at least spend periods of the year away?
It sounds like what he always wanted to do when the Queen said you couldn't be half in and half out. Yeah, I think this is Harry trying to have a big portion of his life back in the UK. Absolutely, Dan. This is a clear sign of a man that is having regrets and is wanting to hold on to what he knows, what has been in his DNA since birth. He wants to get back to that life because that is who he is. That is why he was born, essentially. Really, that's what Diana said. He is the spare. He wants to go back, I think, to being the spare in a special kind of way. Yeah, absolutely.
Indeed. And of course, that's something that Prince William is horrified about. And I don't blame him.
Mhm.
Like, William has a lot of pressure on his shoulders, right? Because he is constantly, P. Diner, thinking about how do we make the British royal family sustainable when he's seen the polls, which show that young people are increasingly turning against this institution. And the idea that Harry will be a help to him is just rubbish. Like, Harry in his own head might think that he will be a help, but he is a hindrance in every possible manner.
Yeah. I mean, as long as Megan is still around, absolutely. I think there is a chance for Harry, if he were to no longer be with Megan, really have a change of heart around his life and wanting to really go back to being that support for William. I think it is something that is possible. getting there mentally for Harry. I don't know if that will ever happen, but that's what I can see. At this point, Harry just needs to try to slowly get his life back, but it has to be without Meghan. She will never be welcome back. And this is something that I think for Harry's own mental health, he needs to do. I think it's very important to his well-being to try to get back, but the way he has to go about it is going to be a clear separation of himself and Meghan. It's not going to be together,
Even
especially
then,
with
though, P.
William.
Dina, do you think that there is any forgiveness on the table for Harry? Because I just don't now. Remember, he didn't just attack the Queen, attack the late Queen and the current Queen, attack the late Prince Philip, attack
Hmm.
Catherine, attack William, attack his father. It wasn't just those attacks. Remember, it was an attack on us, on the British people, on
Mm.
those of us who have fought, for example, for Brexit, fought for our borders. He attacked all of us. I mean, look, I just can't see a way back, any way back.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So here's how I see it, Dan. I see the only way, like I said, is without Meghan, because we have
Mm,
to remember all of these things that happened with Harry were motivated by Meghan. She was the motivation for
true.
Harry to do all the things that he did. If he is able to break cleanly from her and see Meghan for who we know her to be, then I think that is the one way to come back with true humility around what he has done, break from Meghan as being the reason why he had a lapse of judgment, and go back to his family and be completely sorry. I think there is a way back with forgiveness that way. Now we have to know and remember that Harry even blamed his own brother for the reason why he wore that costume, that swastika costume that he wore. Like Harry's the kind of person who I think is manipulated by people. Like he feels like in his head that he was manipulated or someone caused him to do something.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
he
it's
tried
never
to
his
blame
fault.
that
I
on
mean,
his
this was
brother.
actually Catherine and William's fault, wasn't it?
Yes, right. Okay, so that's how Harry thinks. He thinks like this.
Yeah.
So we can see Meghan is, I think, the reason why he's done the things that he's done now. Okay, so yeah, hey, if he can get rid of her, there's a slight chance back, I
Yeah, I
think, for
mean,
him.
the issue is for me is that I don't think he has any sense of humility. And I really think even if there is a split, he will struggle to apologize, which is what he would have to do. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
he
move on
would
in
have
your
to.
countdown of the 5 most shocking royal moments of 2025. And at number
Hmm.
4, this was very shocking in some ways,
Hmm.
not in others, P. Diner, because a very troubled young woman, the suicide of Virginia Giuffre, and of course, the impact that this would go on to have for Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, seeing his title stripped, and the British royal family actually having to
Hmm.
change those traditions. And in some ways, Pete Diner, stripping Andrew of his title means that the institution itself is far less safe.
Yes, this right here was a major, major story that has gone on for years and years. It never went away. It just momentum for this just got stronger and stronger. And at the end, Andrew lost his titles. He lost so much. His life has been affected by it forever. Just having this story in her suicide has been, I think, a big, big shakeup for the royal family. I mean, true consequences to your behavior. And really sad that this woman's life was so destroyed and that it was connected to royalty. To me, I think that right there is such it's a stain on the monarchy because of Andrew. And it just is so tragic and sad. But to another point, Dan, um, with her death died some stories that I think may come out, well, were talked about with Andrew Lowney in his book, the connection between Andrew and other people, Meghan Markle, because she was supposed to be a witness for Virginia's case before it was settled. And so there are things that died with her as well, but that might be revived later with, I'm hearing some other book with Andrew Lowney later. Some, I can't confirm that, but I have been reading some stories about that. So this is something that's not going away still in this tragedy of everything. So it was a big shakeup, I think, for the royals.
Yeah, Andrew Lowney is updating that autobiography entitled. Of course, I've always had a nuanced position on this, P. Dinah. Yes, I have been very critical of a lot of Andrew's behaviour for many years. But when I saw the mainstream media pile on, I decided I wanted to know a lot more, because I never really trust when the mainstream media are just trying to destroy someone. Do you know what I mean? Usually there's a reason that they're trying to destroy them. And so I guess it was probably connected to my exit from the mainstream media. I thought, well, I'm going to look into this more. And I have spoken to a lot of people close to Andrew. I have learned a lot more about this. Now, that is not me excusing the lies that he told, which were despicable, you know, totally unforgivable. Not excusing that for a single second. But P. Dinah, Virginia Giuffre, I'm afraid to say, was not a reliable witness. And the way post her death, she has been lionized by the mainstream media, I think is part of a plot to try and destroy the British monarchy. I really do. Because remember, there are even victims of Epstein who are or were in the process of suing Giuffre before her death because she had lied about some of them, they claim.
Right.
And she's and one particular victim is still suing Giuffre's estate. So all I'm saying is there are grey areas to this story. There are nuances to this story, but that's not how the mainstream media ever wants to portray it. And a lot of people may not like to hear this, but what Virginia Giuffre said cannot just be immediately taken as read. Because remember, she made untrue allegations about Alan Dershowitz, for example, the top American lawyer, which she had to withdraw and apologize for.
Right. Yeah. And that's a good point. Yeah. So you have to take things cautiously, look at them, weigh them, and understand that there was a pile on. There were some issues with her credibility. I think it's just a cautionary tale to, not convict someone just when you hear something, but to take your time to really evaluate the information and weigh it and see how credible someone is, and to make all of that a part of the story, because otherwise you just have people just running with the story that doesn't really have credibility about it. And it's something that it should be a lesson even for myself. You have to look at things objectionably and try to come to the best resolution of a story, not to fall into that trap. Absolutely.
At number 3, it was Meghan, who wants to be called the Duchess of Sussex. This year we were told that I'm a Sussex now. Yet, P. Dinah, it was actually this revelation that she is still using her HRH title behind the scenes. The little weirdo who hates the British royal family, remember, has even had cards made up, which she uses to send all of her tacky products using the HRH. Now, she isn't meant to use the HRH. That was part of the Sandringham Agreement.
The opening punches straight through the Sussex myth. The so-called freedom flight is declared a lie, not liberation, but escape theatre. The narrative being pushed is brutal. Harry didn't fly toward freedom, he fled responsibility, and now he wants back in. The framing is clear from second one. This isn't about love. It's about regret. 2025 is branded as relentless chaos, with the real royals versus the fake dodgy royals in Montecito. That phrase matters. It draws a moral line. Duty versus performance. Institution versus influencer. Legacy versus lifestyle brand. The countdown format signals something deeper, a public reckoning. Number 5 detonates the Sussex fairytale. Harry's obsession with UK security, British courts, palace intermediaries, secret meetings, is framed as proof the marriage is cracking, regardless of glossy People magazine spin. The accusation is devastating. His mind is in Britain, not with Meghan, not with his children, not in California. This is the heart of the argument. Harry is portrayed as homesick, rootless, regret-ridden. Montecito is no longer aspirational, it's a trap he wants out of. The claim that Meghan's direction repels him is explicit and unflinching. The Queen warned him. He ignored her. Now Harry is allegedly trying to recreate the very arrangement he was denied. UK base. Royal relevance. Distance from his wife. The commentary implies cowardice, not courage. Prince William is framed as the adult in the room. While Harry fantasizes about relevance, William sees polls collapsing, youth rejecting monarchy, institutional survival at stake. Harry isn't help, he's radioactive. The idea that Harry could support William is dismissed as fantasy. This is where the commentary becomes ruthless. The claim: Harry has one possible path back, and it requires total separation from Meghan. She is labeled permanently unwelcome, toxic to the institution, a threat to Harry's mental health. This is not reconciliation talk, it's exile logic. The discussion pivots to accountability. Harry didn't just attack royals, he attacked the late Queen, Prince Philip, Catherine, William, King Charles, the British public. This wasn't family drama, it was national betrayal. The conclusion is grim: forgiveness may simply be impossible. The argument hardens: everything Harry did, he did for Meghan. Book, interviews, attacks, victimhood. The idea is pushed that Harry outsourced his moral compass and now has to crawl back alone. The tone darkens. The list moves from marital collapse to institutional stain. This segment is heavy, tragic, and destabilizing. Virginia's death is framed as a human tragedy, a permanent mark on the monarchy, a moment that forced consequences.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it, Dan. This woman has cards printed up with HRH. You are clearly intending to use these cards to give out to people. You're not allowed to use it. You know you're not allowed to use it, but you're doing it anyway. See, Meghan just showed us she can't be trusted. She will lie in your face and say, okay, no, she's not going to do something, but then behind your back, she will do it anyway. That's her nature. That's the kind of woman she is. And the royal family, William has seen Meghan's true colors. She clearly cannot be trusted. Her using that HRH was a big, big insight, I think, to Meghan and how she tries to manipulate and lie her way. She cannot be trusted whatsoever. Just the audacity to even do that shows you want to use that to help your brand, but also accuse these people that have given you the HRH as being these awful people, but still hold on to something that they gave you. Like, girl, you are all messed up in the head. Just the delusion with this woman is just crazy.
I mean, it is totally crazy. It is totally crazy. This is one of those moments where I was just like, whoa. And I mean, of course, we saw just there Jamie Kern-Lena. And so much of this weirdness actually came out in that interview, wasn't it? Because it's when Jamie Kern-Lena was basically saying, oh, you know, you're so good, you're so caring with people. And it's like, not really. But she does send gifts. You know, she sends gifts with either these printed cards or her calligraphy, if you're really important. I mean, this particular gift, the person wasn't even important enough to get anything in calligraphy. So she is a big gift giver. I mean, we can't take that away from her, but I just find it extraordinary that she still thinks that she needs to use this title.
Right. And the thing is about her gift giving, Dan, is because it's a transaction. That gift is meant to be a transaction for something she wants in return, because that was a clear signal to the Lima girl, right? That, look, I'm giving this to, was it her daughter or someone in her family?
Yes, a sick daughter.
That's the whole reason why she does that. This woman is not fooling anybody. We know why you give gifts, girl. Okay? You're just trying to get something back. That's why she does it.
And number 2, on the most shocking royal moment of 2025, Meghan Markle refusing to fly to her father, Thomas Markle, even after he had his leg amputated. And P. Dinah, it's so interesting. I mean, Lady Colin Campbell, who will be here giving out her own awards tomorrow, but earlier this month, she said she always believed it would be Meghan's treatment of her father that in the end destroyed her public reputation. And I think in some ways that's true. I mean, already she was teetering on the brink of never being able to come back from quite how badly things had gone for her in the United States of America. But this, it was just another level, right? Because Thomas Markle is an all-American guy, okay? He could be your father. He could be your grandfather. And he's in that hospital. And not only does she not go to see him, P. Dinah, she firstly posts a video on her Instagram story of Prince Harry making a fool of himself on Stephen Colbert, something that she had all set up. So there were all of those echoes to what happened with the Oprah interview when Prince Philip was in hospital. And that was so deeply uncomfortable. But then we learn via her own briefing to the Sunday Times that she had delivered a letter to Thomas Markle. He had kept it secret, so she briefed it. But she demanded that the hospital film the delivery of the letter, so treating her father like he's some type of pawn in her sick games with the British press, because, of course, Caroline Graham, that woman from the Daily Mail on Sunday, was in the room with Thomas because they are friends. So all of that was bad enough. But MP Dinah, she berates him in the letter. The letter isn't kind. The letter isn't any type of reconciliation. The letter isn't even, oh, look, we've had a bad couple of years, but you've been an amazing father to me. If something was to happen to you, let's focus on the positive times. No. She berated him. She abused him. She attacked him for previously having spoken to the media. As if that's not bad enough, P. Dinah, where does she get off? I mean, no one has spoken more or revealed more about her own family or about Harry's own family than that couple. So for me, this really was one of those moments that will be part of her epitaph. You know, we can't forget the way she treated Thomas Markle, who had lost a leg, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, Meghan has really done herself in with this to not even show basic humanity to her own father, who she previously praised in her social media. This woman, in her speeches, she talked about what a great father she has. And to do this to your father on a world stage, for what? For what? For what? To make yourself appear as if you want to have distance from a man that is essentially a Hollywood Emmy award-winning man that has done a lot of things, accomplishments in Hollywood. You want to distance yourself from this man now? Do you think this is going to help you in your branding? Meghan can't seem to understand that everything that she does is public for the world to see and to judge her on. And for whatever reason, she wants to not have a relationship with this man. And I actually do know why she doesn't want a relationship with him. It's because of his children, okay? Because he did not want to never speak to his children again, because Meghan had asked him that question and he refused. And so she knows by having a relationship with her father, it is a relationship with Samantha and Tom Jr. This is why she doesn't want a relationship with him. And because of her hate for her half siblings, she is going to, and has already, destroyed any kind of positive PR she would have ever even gotten from me or anybody, because that is the one thing you could have done to have gotten some praise, some kind of having everyone, whether they're a fan or not of Meghan, would have come together to say, okay, at least she did the right thing and went to see her father. But because she wants to make it about these superficial things and not really come authentically to be with her father, she will always be judged and affected by this choice. It will and will continue to haunt her in real time, because when her father, essentially, when he does pass away, it's going to even be heightened. by how people are going to have such disdain, even more for Meghan, for not stepping up and doing the right thing. She is making a clear mistake by how she is treating her father in this moment, and it will forever haunt her for the rest of her life, because that fame she's seeking is not going to be something that she, I think, will ever get the way she imagines in her head. But at the end of the day, that all fades away. In the end, it's about how you showed up for people. That's what people will remember. They're not going to remember you trying to make it in Hollywood and get this celebrity and all these deals. They're going to remember how you treated your father.
Totally.
You,
It's
you
so
know, and
fundamental. It's
she's
so
losing.
fundamental. And it smashes for the rest of their eternity, right? It damns
Yes,
them for the rest of their lives when they try and say we're humanitarians, because actually, as you say, Pete Diner, if you don't show up for the people that were there for you, then you're not going to
hmm
show up for anyone else.
that's
You're not.
right.
You might pretend to because it
Yeah,
suits you, but actually, I am a big believer in the old saying, charity starts at home. That
that's
is
right.
always where I first think everyone needs to look. How are you treating your family? What can you do for your family? How can you treat your blood relatives? What are you
Yeah,
doing for your in-laws? And they showed up for Meghan. Actually, the late Queen showed up for Meghan. Charles showed up for Meghan. They all showed up for Meghan. She never showed up for them. But maybe
that's
what's so
right.
shocking about this list, Pete Diner, is that that can actually be topped. But it can. Because at number
Mhm.
one of the most shocking royal moments of 2025 is Meghan Markle's biggest low ever, the Diana death tunnel stunt in Paris, which P. Diner was almost too shocking to be true.
Yeah,
But there was no justification for this. She did it
yeah,
and she knew
yeah.
what she was doing.
She knew what she was doing, and she was very intentional in doing that by going by that tunnel and essentially using it for your branding, mocking almost, just trying to show some kind of attitude towards doing what you want to do. And look, here I am by where Diana died and going even to Paris, because we have to remember they talked about never going to Paris, Meghan and Harry. Like, this was a no-no. And the fact that you went by where Diana passed away shows how you don't have a good bone in your body, girl, to even go there, to do that to a woman who is dead, to do that to your husband's mother. How could you be so careless and so, yeah, intentional, not careless, intentional, because that is a no-no. You know that is sacred ground. And for you to go by that location and to post it on social media the way you did, you're just, girl, you are just trying to just show people you Satan all the way, because that is wrong. I'm so sorry. Even when you saw Harry at the awards, how he looked so upset with Meghan, we know that that was a touchy point for Harry because of how he even was in public with Meghan after this event. So Meghan just did something that no one ever thought she could do, something like that. It's unbelievable, Dan, that she stooped to such a low level. Um, like, you are the daughter-in-law of Diana. Why would you do that? It just boggles the mind.
It really does. It really does. Well, look, Pete Diner, thank you for all of your incredible
Uh, uh, uh.
coverage.
I have a memorable moment, Dan.
Oh, do you?
I do. I have a memorable moment. We cannot forget the baby mama dance. We cannot forget the baby mama
No!
dance. The way this woman went to New Lows with this, and I'm sorry, Meghan Markle. You really showed yourself here, girl. Okay? Go ahead, get it, girl. Get it. We're not going for that. Okay,
I
baby,
can't
you have
believe.
really shown yourself to be not a good actor. You've made some uh you've done some wrong things, but this right here showed us how low you could go with your ghetto. And I'm sorry, that is just ghetto, Megan.
Pete,
You
I
just
can't
did not have
believe
to go there.
that this is going to be one of the visions that we are leaving everyone with at the
Yes.
end of 2025 because I sort of thought the moon bump dance was something we were going to be able to forget. And actually, isn't it funny seeing it? This is the first time I've seen it in a good few weeks. And my God, it's bad.
It's so
It's
bad.
so bad on so many levels. And it's like the fact that she put this out here and he let her. And it's like, not only are you the biggest hypocrites on the planet, you are the most cringe-inducing couple I have ever seen. Oh, P. Dina, I'm sorry that was a terrible way to end the year. But look, thank you. Thank you for all of your work in 2025. Of course, you can subscribe to P. Dina's brilliant YouTube channel, PDINA. She does incredible royal analysis, but she will be back with us live for all of the latest royal news this time next week. So P. Dina, have an amazing Happy New Year, and we will speak to you in 2026. Thank you so much.
Great. Same to you, Dan.
And tomorrow, don't worry, our party is continuing here on Outspoken. I promise there won't be any baby mama dance, but we are going to be having some cocktails.
Andrew losing his titles is seen as both necessary and destabilizing. A chilling suggestion: not everything was revealed. Whispers of witnesses, unspoken connections, buried testimony. The story is not finished, only paused. Here the script turns against the mainstream media. The argument: media prefers destruction over truth. Nuance is forbidden. Complexity is erased. Virginia is described as not beyond scrutiny, citing past retractions and disputed claims. This is controversial by design and meant to challenge orthodoxy. The takeaway: public opinion should not replace evidence. A rare moment of restraint before the next explosion. This is portrayed as pure duplicity. Publicly, I'm just Meghan, a Sussex. Privately, Her Royal Highness cards. Brand leverage. Title exploitation. The accusation: she despises the monarchy but feeds off its symbols. Meghan's gift-giving is reframed as manipulation. Not generosity, leverage. Not kindness, obligation. Every present comes with a receipt. What do I get back? This is the moral core of the entire countdown. Thomas Markle. Hospitalized. Amputated. Alone. Meghan. Posts Colbert clips. Briefs newspapers. Sends a filmed letter. Berates instead of reconciles. The charge is unforgiving. This destroyed her reputation beyond repair. The humanitarian brand collapses here. If you don't show up for your father, you won't show up for anyone else. This moment becomes her epitaph. The most shocking moment of all. Driving through the tunnel where Diana died and publicizing it is framed as intentional, calculated, morally grotesque. This crosses a line even critics didn't think she would cross. The ending spirals into mockery. The dance is portrayed as vulgar, hypocritical, brand-destroying. Harry looks miserable. Meghan looks performative. The final image of 2025 is embarrassment. This wasn't just a countdown. It was a character indictment. Of a marriage. Of ambition without boundaries. Of fame without humanity. Harry looks lost. Meghan looks exposed. And the monarchy looks relieved they left. Now it's over to you. Is Prince Harry trying to crawl back, or is it too late? Was Meghan Markle's treatment of her father unforgivable? Did the Diana tunnel stunt permanently destroy her image? Like, if you think the Sussex era is finally collapsing, comment with your verdict. No censorship. Subscribe for fearless royal commentary you won't hear elsewhere. Because when the masks fall, the truth gets loud.